Hey, what's going on, guys? Flick here, and welcome back to another episode of the Liverpool Career Mode. And I'm so hyped to get this episode out for you guys because we are going to finish up the transfer window in this episode. If you guys do go on to enjoy this episode, make sure to leave a like down below. But now, in terms of the goalkeeper position, I've decided to eliminate Timo Horn as a potential candidate because he's signed in a lot of career modes, and I want to make this career mode a little bit more unique. Ter Stegen, Karius, and Rulli are going to be our three targets. What I'm going to be doing with them is basically putting in the same amount of bids. Whichever one does get accepted first is the keeper I'm going to be going for, to rotate around with Simone Mignolet a little bit. And you guys responded to the poll in the last episode saying I should sign Cáceres on a pre-contract, and we'll look to do that as long as we have sufficient funds in the transfer budget. And as a couple of offers come in, we will accept this offer from Marseille for Lucas Leiva. 5 million is not a bad price for a player that has reached his prime. And also, we're going after Emerson Hyndman, a young American player, has a lot of good technical ability, good passing ability, and I think he could fit in the midfield for us, alongside Rossiter, another promising midfielder. As we get into a couple of Youth Academy reports, no real good results from Ireland, but a very different report from the United States. We get a couple of good talents in here, Cody Carrasco being the first one, and we do get one other one. George Mule looks like a very promising player, 51 to 67 overall. That's really nice. Really on the upper side of things, and he had pretty nice potential. So we'll see if he does pan out and become one of our strongest Youth Academy players. We get confirmation that Lucas Leiva was sold to Marseille, and then we get our transfer offer accepted for Leon Bailey, 2.5 million, and now we got to get into the contract negotiations. We're going to give him 20 grand a week, 4 years, and the sporadic first team player role, and we will see whether he accepts that after this match in the FA Cup against Norwich. This was an away match, and I'm looking to do well in the FA Cup, so this was a big game for us if we wanted to really legitimize ourselves in this competition, show that we're a team that are looking to get to the later stages. We brought out a strong starting 11 as well, and the first bit of action will fall to Jordan Ibe here. He's right outside the box looking for someone to get open. He does see Roster on the outside of the box. He will have the shot with his left foot. That one is saved by the keeper, but testing the keeper early on, I like that kind of attitude regardless of whether it's a good shot. But now continuing with the passing, they were really sitting back, and by they I mean Norwich City, and they were tough to break down. You can see I was trying to get them to bite on a couple of fake shots, but they were not biting, and they were just clearing the ball out for corner kicks, for throw-ins, and we just couldn't penetrate their defense. But again, action with Jordan Ibe in the 36th minute. He plays outside Alberto Moreno. Great cross sent in, but what a save by Rudd. That was a beautiful cross by Moreno. I'm really liking his attacking positioning. But some good work here by the team as we head it back to Mignolet. He looks to distribute this quickly, but a huge mistake. But a very smart tackle by Mignolet, doing that slide tackle, because I think that saved a goal. And it was only a yellow card for that tackle. So you guys can say what you want, but I think Mignolet was very smart to make that move. He had to do it very quickly. He had to decide what he wanted to do, and I think he ended up doing the right decision. As we make a couple of substitutes, Divock coming on, and he's been a pretty impact sub for us, and now we're pushing on. In the 58th minute, we're on the counter-attack. It's Roberto Firmino finding Benteke, and now playing this one over the top to Roberto Firmino. A bit of space in front of him. Can he get it by the keeper? He's had a great game, but he's not going to be able to stop that one. Roberto Firmino finally breaking down this Norwich defense in the 60th minute, giving us that 1-0 lead cushion, and we were looking to push on from there. We weren't comfortable with just one goal. Now it's Rossiter passing the ball forward and trying to create some more space. Royce picks out the run by Christian Benteke, and he is going to slot that one home, making it 2-0 for us. And once we scored that first goal, it was pretty much game over for Norwich. They started pushing men forward, and once it did that, we were able to just run all over their defense. Tons of space, and their left backs and right backs were just nowhere to be seen. Rudd does pull off a couple of good saves, to be fair, and I have to give him some credit. If he wouldn't have been the keeper for them, we could have easily scored like 3 or 4 goals. But here's Marco Reus, does so well to get to the ball twice here, and just shows some of that pace that he does have. Really unfortunate for that one to get tackled. That would have been a nice goal had he been able to get past that last man. But here in the 86th minute, it's finally a chance for Norwich after really not testing Mignolet throughout this game. But it's a good save by Mignolet on his near post. and that one does go out for a goal kick. But that's going to be the full-time whistle, a 2-0 win for us in the FA Cup. A good result, a good clean sheet, and overall a great team performance, both on the defensive and the offensive side. Goals by Christian Benteke and Roberto Firmino. We'll take a look at the stats. 5 shots, 5 on target, 47% possession. Not too bad for the stats. I'd like to get those possession stats a bit higher, but Leon Bailey does accept our contract offer, and I think he's going to be a nice addition to the team. He's very pacey. He's got a lot of potential to get trained up, and we'll take a closer look at some of his stats here. 94 acceleration, 92 agility, great stuff right there, and his dribbling's not bad either. 76 for a 70 rated player. You know, he's got those stats up there that are pretty crucial to FIFA, i.e. the dribbling as well as the pace. He's got the speedster, acrobat, and flair traits, so I'm very excited about that. But here you can see I'm finally starting to put in bids for a keeper. 10 million for Ter Stegen, Karius, as well as our final option, Rulin. We'll see which one does get accepted first. If they don't accept that one, I'm just going to start pushing that bid up a little bit higher, as we're going to have to do right here. We're going to move it up to 12 million now, and we'll quickly put in that same offer for each of the players. And I really feel about the same for each of these guys. I think Ter Stegen is rating-wise the best keeper, but the other guys have good potential and good overall, and I think they'll serve a proper role for this team. But we will send out our Youth Academy scouts after their scouting report did end. We sent one to Spain looking for a physically strong player, and we also sent one to Germany looking for a physically strong player to go alongside our scout looking for a Belgian keeper. But finally, we get a couple of transfer offers accepted. I will unveil who we decide to go after this Arsenal match and after a couple of our other matches, but we are still top of the league table, 4 points clear of Chelsea, so a win here would hopefully keep us at 4 points unless Chelsea does drop some points. But obviously Arsenal is going to be a difficult opponent in this one. They haven't made too many changes to their starting 11 besides the typical Verratti transfer, which seems to happen in most of my career modes. But aside from that, I'd argue that Arsenal is one of the lower tier, top tier teams, if that makes sense. So of the teams that are like 5-star rated, I'd argue that Arsenal is one of the easier ones to play against. Sure, they have the likes of Ozil and the likes of Alexis Sanchez, but other than them, they don't have a really strong striker, and Giroud just doesn't seem to perform well for me when I have used him in career mode. Obviously, it depends on the player. If you guys really find Arsenal a great team to play against, maybe drop it in the comment section below, but for me, I'd say that Chelsea's the toughest team for me to play against, regardless of the results we've had this season. But this match was really a battle of the keepers. Cech was having a great game, and Mignolet came out to play in this match. After he heard the news that we're bringing in a keeper, I think he really started to up his game and wanted to make sure that he still had that starting spot. But that was a really nice touch by Lallana. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he kind of flicked it forward, set it up for Sturridge. Unfortunately, I made a mess of the opportunity. I should have played it on the ground right there, but Petr Cech was able to easily collect that one. Now Alexis with the fancy pass. Good bit of play, and Giroud with the shot. Mignolet once again batting it out for a corner kick. We bring on Firmino, Ibe, and Origi trying to get a goal in this last 18 minutes. And we do get inside the box right here. It's going to be Roberto Firmino cutting inside, tries to play it in the middle. Henderson finding Milner on the outside, has the long-range shot, but once again, Petr Cech up to the task, and the match does end at 0-0. So not the most exciting match in terms of goals scored, but a lot of opportunities for both teams. It was a fun match to play, and Arsenal are proven to be a tough challenge. And, you know, they could be contenders for the Premier League title this season. I think they're top 4 right now. And looking at the stats, it was a relatively equal game. Arsenal did just edge us out in possession, but that's to be expected. But now we get a transfer offer from Newcastle United for Joe Allen, 4.6 million, but I counter with 5 million. And I know Joe Allen's been playing pretty well in real life for Liverpool, but I decided to sell him in this career mode because we have so many center mids and we needed some extra cash so we can decide on our goalkeeper situation. I thought long and hard about this decision, and I even asked you guys over on Twitter, and ultimately I decided to go with Karius. He's the younger player, and he was a little bit more suggested in the comments as well as on Twitter. If you guys aren't following me already on Twitter, you should go ahead and do that, because occasionally I try to get some last minute decisions done and I try to get you guys involved, and that's a great way to go ahead and get involved. But the contract negotiations were a piece of cake, so we got him added to the team, and I'm very excited to see the future for this career mode, because it's all going to depend on how the player plays the game. I'm going to give Karius a couple of starts here in the near future just to get a good feel for how he plays. And then based on that, I'll decide who's going to be starting in the league, who's going to be starting the cup, and who's going to be getting more playtime ultimately between Karius and Mignolet. But a couple of more transfer news. We get the transfer offer accepted from Fulham for Emerson Hyndman, so exciting stuff. We're looking to add a young American into the team, and that'll fill that center mid role a little bit. I know he's not the highest overall, but with a little bit of training, we could definitely get Hyndman up there. But now moving on to the pre-contract negotiations, it's going to be for Martin Caceres, who you guys voted on, and he wants $100,000 a week. We decided to give him to that because I didn't want to specify that squad role. I'm still not sure what kind of player he's going to be, whether he's going to play center back, whether he's going to play left back for us. And luckily, that was accepted. So good news right there. We get Caceres added to the team, and we also get Mr. Emerson Hyndman added to the team. So we get a couple of good transfers into the side, and ultimately, I'm very happy with how the transfer window went. I think we filled all the positions we needed to fill. We added some youth to the team, and ultimately, I'm very happy with how things went. Here's how the training is going to look for the immediate future. Bailey, Hyndman, and Roster getting some training, so we're really focusing on our youth, and hopefully we can have a very dynamic duo in Hyndman and Rossiter in the midfield. Hyndman, I think he's going to catch up pretty rapidly with Rossiter. He's a little bit higher rated right now, but that won't last too long. As we get into a squad report, checking out some of the player growth thus far, and you know, it's been a little bit spotty, I'm not going to lie. Some of our players who I would have expected to grow haven't grown yet, and some of the players that I didn't expect to grow have. So I don't know what to interpret from this. We'll see how the season does progress, because we're only halfway through the first season. We've got a long ways to go, so I'm not too fussed out about it yet. But we're going to simulate a couple of matches here after the transfer window was done. The first one being against Sunderland at home. This shouldn't be much of a competition for us, and it really wasn't looking at the scoreline. We did win the match 3-0, goals coming from a variety of sources. And now on to the match against Norwich. Since I played them earlier in the episode, I really couldn't play them again. I didn't want to, honestly, so I decided to simulate just for my sake and for your sake as well. And luckily for us, we managed to win the match through a Coutinho goal in the 84th minute. So now moving into the last match of the episode and the last bit of action in the episode, it's going to be against Southampton, again the FA Cup, looking to get into the quarterfinals. Let's get into the starting lineups now. They have a pretty nice starting 11. Charlie Austin and Slimani up front, and it'll be a good lineup. You know, we're putting out a good, strong starting 11, giving Hyndman and Henderson the start in this match. I wanted to give Hyndman a chance, and I also gave Karius a start. I was mentioning it earlier. And Hyndman really went off to a good start. He had a good shot there, just going over the bar and almost testing the keeper, but now it's classy on the ball. And Karius, he came to play today. I'm not going to lie, guys. He made so many good saves, and he was very impressive for me. Now Hyndman setting up a good pass, making a good run, and slipping this one forward to Roberto Firmino. Very impressed with Hyndman. Not the highest rating, but he plays well in game. And I think it's because I have experience using him in Ultimate Team, and I kind of know where to play to his strengths. And yeah, he's just been playing well for me, and if he keeps playing like that, he's going to keep getting starts in this team in FA Cup games, in EuroLeague games, and the likes of that. But continuing on, it was a couple of good saves by Karius. They get a corner kick right here, and they whip this one just outside the box. We get it cleared temporarily, but now Cedric on the ball is going to play it forward. It's Wanyama. He's going to have the shot, and look at that for a save from Karius. Man, compared to Mignolet, I have to say, Karius, he's my favorite keeper thus far, and you know, it's only been one game, so time will tell, but thus far, I think Karius has to be preferred over Mignolet because he was making save after save, keeping us in the lead, and things were just going well for us. But now it's Henderson looking to push this one forward, find Marco Reus, now Sturridge, played it over the top to Roberto Firmino. He got a goal like this in the first match, and now he's going to spin inside, doing a couple of spin moves and getting by the Southampton defense, sees Henderson in the middle, and he is going to slot that one home, making it 2-0 for us. A nice build-up play by Firmino and a nice finish by Henderson. We're looking to make it another goal right now. Look at this for a ball from Roberto Firmino, perfectly placed. Sturridge nods at home, and he finishes it as well, making it 3-0 for us, pretty much securing the win and our spot in the quarterfinal of the FA Cup. Making a couple substitutions since we have the game locked up and we have a busy week ahead. A lot of matches in a close amount of time, so that will be interesting in the next episode. But we're trying to make it 4. We weren't done yet. Jordan Ibe was one of our substitutes, and now he gets inside the box. Unfortunately, that one does hit the post, and it is cleared out by the Southampton defense. We get another chance here in the 79th minute. This time Henderson finding Roberto Firmino, finding Divock. He tries going for the cheeky chip. A little bit too audacious, and that is how the match does come to an end, guys. A very dominant result, 3-0. and a good game for us. And guys, that's going to bring an end to the episode today. I hope you guys are happy with the transfers. I certainly am. And if you guys did enjoy the episode, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new to the channel. Until the next episode of this Liverpool Career Mode, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to you guys again soon.